Okay, we're back from a word from our sponsors, and
they are working on getting that video clip up.
We're trying to get it up. I mean, it was a little heated debate here.
By the way, the ball was hit very, very hard, right?
Yeah, it was. One other thing is, when we go to the videotape, you'll see that I think Max really didn't recognize the situation the right way, and he was very, very in for this ball, where he did not have to be. He could have been back 4 feet.
Now you talk about positioning. Henry changes where he stands every time depending on who's up. Morris plays
Henry is great, but has not made the postseason in 2 years.
He's been with Red for 2 straight years.
I've been with Moses, and I'm still there.
Yeah, Henry got to the semis last year. But anyway, the point being that
By the way, wait a second. You don't walk a guy to load the bases with Moses on the mound, okay? It's not Ike Edid on the mound.
No,
it's not Mahora.
You want to get a forced play at any base.
But the count went to 2-1, and that's why
you're playing the numbers, and you're playing versus the number 10 hitter, and you're playing versus a guy who just struck out looking, and you're
and that's why you intentionally walked for him. That's the real reason you intentionally walked him. Okay, so the force, the non-force, or whatever, that's 8th. Bones, that's 7th. Whatever his name is, Robert Braha, that's 7th. Okay, he walked him to get him because he went down looking before. But
no, not just because of that.
That's
because
a lot of the reason.
No, a lot of the reason is to get a force at any base.
But when you load the bases, a walk brings in a run, obviously.
A walk did not happen.
Moses had 5 walks before that time. I checked the book.
No, but
5 walks up to that point.
But we're not talking about a walk killing the game.
Also,
we're talking about
a walk makes it 2-0 in a game that's 1-0.
It sounds to me like with a slow runner, which we all agree Jigga is a very slow runner, and the base is loaded, he should have been playing deep in the hole.
100%.
So grounded, he would have got the force at third. If he was playing deep short, would he have gotten the much easier play? Would have got the force at third
anywhere.
So that's why I don't know why he was playing.
I don't I don't have an answer for.
Okay, another thing. Marty Jemal at the time was saying also. I was sitting next to him. He says, I wasn't sitting next to him. I heard him talking to other people saying. And you should know this if you're a captain. You should be scouting who you're playing and knowing how the teams won the other games. You got to know when certain players have the hot hand and when they don't. When a guy bats 200, but he leads his team in RBIs in the playoffs, you got to know that.
Right.
That comes from the captain over here. And he's the one who has the call and said, let's walk this guy and get to the next guy.
This, to me, Bobby, looks strictly like a case of an older brother sticking up for the weaker, younger brother.
Incorrect.
I would like to hear from Joseph Jemal.
Honestly, I don't have a problem with the move.
Joseph Jemal tried defending your ridiculous coaching staff.
This is not a coaching staff. This is textbook baseball.
You don't walk the bases loaded with Moses on the mound. You don't do that.
If you know what, you'd have an argument if he walked in a run, but he didn't.
He didn't because he put the ball right over the plate.
He got a routine grounder to the shortstop.
He put the ball. He gave it. No,
if he hit a ball in the gap, you can tell me all you want. It was a grounder to the shortstop.
Was it hard hit? Was it hit well?
Yes, but he should have made
because the pitch was slow. Because the count was 2-1. Because he couldn't walk him home.
This would not be a heated argument from him if this wasn't his brother.
If it's a hitter's count, you got to play deep in the hole with a slow runner.
That was Max's fault.
What do you? By the way, let me ask you this: why do you give Robert the base and not pitch around him? Is Robert so good that he won't go fishing for a ball or something?
Well, that's a story.
How do you just give him the base?
That's another story.
That's another bad move by the coaching staff.
No, not true.
Why?
Because why should you just beat around the bush?
Because Robert could reach for a ball and pop up.
No, he could also reach for one and poke one at the right.
That's what you learned about Robert Braha coming.
No, am I worried about Jigga Jemal hitting one into the gap?
No, worried about bases loaded.
The facts remain is that I understand your argument, but you're really going berserk because it's your younger brother. I understand. I'm happy you're sticking up. Nothing against the guy. He had the game-winning hit. My fault. Max's fault. We got to hope for the best on Friday, but the fact is, and you can't tell me otherwise, you would not be going this nuts if this wasn't your brother.
I just think it was a wrong move at the time, based on the fact that he won Game 2 against Insane for them. He won Game 3 against Insane for them, and now he won Game 1 over here. I mean,
so he's MVP of the postseason.
No, he's not MVP of the postseason.
Well, why not? He won every game for them.
Okay, he is, and whatever you want to say. But the point is, as a coach on the other sideline, as a captain of the team that makes the moves, you got to know that. How do you not know that?
Well, he was scouting other
prospects,
leagues, maybe.
Right?
Tel Aviv or something.
You got to know who you're playing. How'd they win? They scored 6 runs. In
Okay, so thank you for the statistical update. I will walk Jigga Jemal intentionally every time because he is now the MVP of the postseason.
If Jackie Morabia or Moses are your pitchers, I wouldn't walk him either to load the bases.
Well, you got to play the odds. We got what we wanted, a hard grounder. The ball should have been made. An out should have been made, and it wasn't. It happened.
Let's be the judge of this.
Wait, you gotta show him there, no?
Well, let's see it first.
I mean,
a packed house over there.
Oh wait, there's something over.
There's this thing. You gotta show the viewers anyway.
Wow,
technical difficulties over here.
It sounds to me, I haven't seen the replay yet, but it sounds to me that, it should have been, Max with the count being 2-1, should have been playing deep in the hole. He might have had a better chance at that. So I don't know if it's coaching staff, whoever should have made that decision. But let's see.
Moses, 2-1 count.
Oh, Max playing very shallow.
He is.
2-1. Let's see.
Routine ground.
That's not routine.
No, he could.
That is not routine.
It was like, come on,
you gotta be kidding me.
It's a ground ball.
You gotta post this online for the viewers to see.
And look at all the
The viewers need to see this.
Look at him diving
and safe.
Come on. It was a routine ground ball. Max makes this play with his eyes closed.
No, apparently he doesn't.
Well, he should have.
Well, he didn't.
His eyes might have been closed on the play. But he was on his knee. I think he could have had that one, honestly. I mean...
Go a little closer. No.
This is it? Hold it. All right, we're going to show the viewers now.
Go.
I don't know how you see it. It's a routine play. He had to backhand at it.
Yeah, but...
He had to backhand the ball. Max makes that play.
He played 3-4 feet behind. That was a routine ground.
Okay, well, he was where he was.
He didn't play the right... I'm sorry. It's a defensive strategy that backfired.
And look at Sabon's body language over here. The hands out.
I said, what the fuck kind of play is that, you know?
So I have to agree with Sabon. I think he could have had that. I think he was just playing the wrong angle. But let's go back to the other play with Ali Marshall getting thrown out of third. I mean, there was a lot of tension.
No,
Hakeem was upset at home. But I don't think there's a more useless job than coaching third with Ali Marshall.
Nothing.
Because he is absolutely not going to listen to
Ali scored from second on a ground ball to short this year. He scored from first on a ground ball to the pitcher.
In this case, look, I'm going to say two things. Ali is at 40 and married. Is still the fastest guy in the league. There's no question.
Yeah.
It's still hard to make a play on him. And being that it was the first inning, I was not upset that he got nailed by 15 feet.
Right.
But he was aggressive, and I think we realized as a team that we needed to get as many runs opportunities as we can against that team. Because they were not going to come easy. And as you see, they didn't. And no one did anything till the 6th inning. I figured we might get a few more down in the coming innings, but we didn't. So was I really upset about that? No. If it was anybody else taking it into their own hands other than Ali,
might have been.
Yeah, I would have decapitated somebody. But you know what? Ali has a good idea of when he can make it and when he can't. And they did hold him up, and they probably should have. But the guys hitting behind me also are not coming through. I mean, that was 2 outs at that time, right? Yeah. Morris Harari was not getting a hit. The next guy wasn't getting a hit, so you got to take matters into your own hands.
Eshko with a great arm, by the way, made a perfect throw. And was Jigga upset that he was not that A.B. Sacker cut him off.
He did that in the last game also. He hasn't said anything about it, but
I think he's taking it out of the plate.
I guess so. I'm sure inside he'd much rather cover home plate, but he hasn't said anything to Sacker. You got to let Sacker do what he needs to do.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so now you seem to be pretty happy with Moses' performance overall, and obviously he's going to start game 2.
Yeah.
Now, what's your team's mindset being down 1 game now, going to Friday's matchup?
You know what? They were all pissed, but it shows. You know what? Here's the statement I'm making to them. Guys, you got to hit. You got to be aggressive, and you got to come out looking to hit the ball hard, and let's see these guys make plays. Like Norman said, these guys, the grounders they were making plays on, they were throwing them all over the place. Nobody was really making routine plays. The infield was very hard. Balls were bouncing everywhere. And we need to do a better job of hitting, because this is potentially the last 3 at-bats you're getting for the season.
Right. Just a reminder to our viewers to call in if you want, 732-5-YMSL-55 or 732-596-7525. And we look forward to hearing from...
in general, this was a great game to watch, by the way. 0-0 the whole time till the 6th inning, while we were getting scores from the other field, which we'll get to, 3-0, 8-0, 10-0. This game was very, very tight, very intense. They had a few scoring opportunities. The other team had a few less, but it was a great, great game to watch.
Yeah, so now, Norman, you're confident, you told me off the air that you think they're going to rebound and win game 2, Sabon Sanity.
I think the Fountain of Youths, they seem to take time. I like them to win the series, but I like them to win the series in 3. I think Sabon is going to get his team hitting. I mean, to hold that lineup to 1 run is incredible. And there were no diving catches. There were no crazy plays. Right. I still don't know how they held them.
I'll tell you, it was A.B. Sacker. Here's the difference. We have, a relatively good hitting team, and A.B. Sacker doesn't walk guys, and he comes in with heat, and he challenges our guys to hit the ball. And if you want to go look at the numbers here, I think there was probably 3 or 4 hits the whole day, and I probably had 2 of them. And with Ali not on base getting doubles, we can't win. And I'm not putting the blame on him, but the other guys need to step it up for him, because he can't do everything himself. These guys got to get big hits.
Right.
Because you know what? Otherwise, we're looking at another 3-2 game on Friday.
Right. So.
No, we're not scoring 10, and I don't think they are, because I don't think they really have great hitting.
Yeah, their offense is non-existent.
They don't have it.
They don't have any.
No, their first few guys, they got some solid line drive hitters. Eshko's very good. I think this guy's going to be a superstar going forward. A couple other guys, but they're more or less routine single line drive, at best doubles. You're not going to see a guy on this team hit a 380-foot homer.
Except Eli.
Yeah, but he's a long fly out to left in my book. He's very solid, but, you could predict what he's doing. He swings for the moon, and he hits it deep, but if you got the guy deep enough, you're making a play.
Right.
Bottom line is, Morris Harari's going to be on the chalk. Moses is pitching, and we need to hit, and we'll see what happens.
I think we have a call coming in from Eddie from Takara K. Eddie, you're on the air.
How's it going, guys?
Did we open yet?
No. I'm still getting bent over by the town.
We're not eating till we get over there. Eddie, first of all, we were talking about your team's matchup yesterday, your inability to hit. First of all, we also you waving to stop to Ali Marshall. I mean, were you were visibly upset?
It looked to me we're waving 20% off coupons for your restaurant.
And 5 feet past third base, stop, looked at Eshko, having the ball in his hand just about, and decides to go, even though I had my hands up in his face going, stop, and Sabon and Morris are in the background going, go. I killed him, man. That's don't give up my runners. That's it.
So you are the third base coach ever since your injury. That's basically the role on the team here. And you put up the stop sign for Ali. And Ali, best guy in the league basically, doesn't listen to your stop sign. So exactly what does that say as a message for the rest of the team? That
he's not the best guy in the league.
So who's the best guy in the league?
Well, you know, look at my numbers.
He felt that he needed a run. Jemal was coming up behind him. We already had 2 outs. He was saying, "Fuck it, I'm going for it. Now we need to run." You know, and he was dead regardless.
He was dead, but like I said, Ed, it was the first inning. You got to give him a chance. They still have to make a perfect throw, which they did, and a perfect catch. And it's hard to get Alley, and I like the aggressiveness. If it was the 5th inning, I would have went nuts.
By the way,
it was the first inning.
They didn't really need to make a perfect throw. The throw could have been softer, a little high pop. It could have bounced, and it still would have been out.
You know, I gotta bring that up. There was one play that someone hit one in the hole. There was one play that someone hit one in the hole between short and short center, and Alley was on first, I think pinch running from me, and he got nailed at second. Like, he makes that every time he's usually there, and like maybe the couple weeks of marriage and trip to Vegas.
Sabon throwing Alley under the bus on a couple different occasions.
No, let's
By the way, after the collision,
trying to get MVP votes.
There was a little bit of a collision on the play at the plate between Alley and Abisaka. And Alley was rubbing his knee after that, and did say he had a very exhausting week and everything, and so maybe it did affect him running to second base later in the play. By the way, very good play by Goldberg, Zvi's son, on that play, getting to second base and covering, and Robert Braha on a stretch at first base, controversial call. He had a good play, and this guy here, I do got to give him credit. He had maybe 5 or 6 scoops in the game. Yeah, his team did not throw one ball.
Not just that. Let me just tell you, this has been happening all year, and I am not afraid to say it live on air. None of these guys could throw a ball. Max, 8 out of 10 he threw good, but third base 0 out of 10. Second base and short center was an absolute disaster after Eddie left, and you know, that's about it.
Yeah, the feeling has been very weak. It's been bothering me more than anybody, I think. I feel like, you know?
It's been...
Hey, what's going on with you? You have bases loaded with 2 outs.
I was waiting for Alley to call in and say, how's he blaming me?
Easy to say, Eddie, when you're eating sushi by the dozen over there and not playing in the 100-degree heat.
By the way, Sabon very aggressive in that bat. First pitch swinging, I believe. With the bases loaded.
The best pitch he was going to see. It was probably a strike, right?
No, you know what? He caught me with an off-speed, high pitch. And I did everything against what I am trained to do as a hitter, and I tried pulling the ball, and I never do that because everyone knows that my hits are always liners up the middle and into the gaps. And
ironically, in the last series, Abisaka was faced with a similar situation, bases loaded, no outs. Mo Shama was up, and he did something he never does. He swung at the first pitch and popped up
to first base.
So, he really bears down. But enough of that series. Eddie, you confident your team can come back on Friday?
I hope so. I'm very confident, and I think they can do it. They'll pull together. You know, we'll get a little team rally going. You know, a little pep talk, and everybody will be good to go.
All right, so your back's against the wall. And, I think your offense could come around. Like we mentioned the last week of the season, when you put up 49 runs in 2 games, those games don't happen in the playoffs. And
well, I'll tell you something. Where I'm speaking with my advisors this week, and we are making some lineup changes, and you'll see that reflected in Friday's game. And hopefully into Sunday.
All right, so it should be interesting. Eddie, thanks for the call, and we look forward to visiting your establishment very soon.
Thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you guys.
All right, thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Seems visibly upset over there with Alley, but nonetheless.
He's upset with Alley and Sabon, actually. He's upset with Alley for rounding third and for him with the base.
You know what? Come on. What do you want? Is everyone going to get a hit every time they're up? No, but I'll take blame for that. I got to come through that. I just do.
Let's talk a little about the other series. I mean, there was another series to be played over at Fireman's West. And that was, ironically, we had that press conference on the mound when Malbadev beat the unknowns to see what Captain GM said.
We all picked Malbadev to beat the unknowns, yet the captain of Malbadev made a whole email saying how we all picked against him. Did we not all pick
yes, we definitely
Malbadev in 3 when he was sitting right over here? No?
I took them to win.
Yeah, we all took him to win. He sent an email to his team with the grid and everything saying how all the analysts picked against him.
Well,
and he was live in studio, so I don't understand.
Oh, yeah. Did Leo and Amy Dweck get that email?
Leo and Amy Dweck, they cannot plan a bachelor party when you know it's going to be playoff season.
I would like to bring one topic up, a prediction, that not a prediction, but something that we discussed on our last show. Even though they did get to the next round and they were a win away, how has David Harari been performing in this playoff series? In the whole since the playoffs.
I don't know what he did at the play yesterday. He
went.
He didn't get a hit.
He didn't get a hit.
But not just that. I
think he has 1 hit in the postseason.
I think his first couple of games also he didn't do anything.
Well, I give credit to Sabon for signaling, pointing out an individual like that.
I'm only bringing this up because the guys, got mad at the night league. How could you say that about me? All that.
But so far, you're right about it. I think he has 1 hit in the postseason. We'll check.
In the first round also?
Yeah, between the first and second round. And I think it was his first at bat, I believe, but we'll look into it.
So, anyway, we're not really surprised that the Marlins picked Malbadev. Otherwise,
no surprise there at all.
They pick earlier before the game. We would have known, but
I think they would have picked the unknowns also. I think they knew they were playing that game. They just didn't want them to play 2 games and be ahead of them.
Well, the unknowns suffered a devastating injury with superstar in the making, Rookie of the Year candidate Murray Zolta pulled his hamstring.
No, I think it was his calf.
It was a calf?
I had the same injury. I saw him yesterday. He was all taped up.
Yeah.
It comes from lack of water intake and a little, malnourishing on the potassium situation. But
nonetheless, a very big loss. He had huge numbers this year, played great left field, and so they had him. They had suffered. Ari Marcus was injured a few weeks ago, so they were playing with 10 guys, which forced them to have to hit Cordman the last 2 games of the series, and that's not really, you can attest to that, it does not help.
It's quite the disaster.
That team went 3-7 in their last 10 games.
Well, okay. I think early on we all predicted that it would just be a short-lived run and the experience factor would come back to haunt them, and I think we made note of that when we were making the predictions for the playoffs, that even with a pitcher like Mikey, I believe that they would have gotten through them, and they did relatively easy in that final game.
So let's talk about Jeffrey Sacker's performance yesterday. Absolutely brilliant in Game 1 of that series. There was not one runner that got past second base. Dominant, and I think we're all, and I think a lot of people in the league, maybe not Sabon, are looking forward to a Marlins Fountain of Youth.
Yes, I am looking forward to it.
Just because how dominating those 2 pitchers were, and we expect some great defensive pitching performances.
You want to know something? I don't love that matchup. I gotta tell you, if that happens to be the matchup, I see a sweep from Jeffrey Sacker.
Really?
Yeah, I think my team would match up a lot better to his because it would strictly be offense versus defense.
I'll tell you one
looking
thing.
At a great
there is
series.
Not going to be a better story. We talked about it yesterday in the YMSL history. If Moses ends up winning a championship,
it's crazy.
I mean, this guy was
to his credit, when he wasn't playing on the first 2 teams he was on, he showed up every time. He nagged a little bit, but who wouldn't? He showed up to every game. He sat on the bench, didn't bat, didn't field, didn't do anything.
Let me tell you something. Early on in the season, people questioned why I took Buwabe, why I took this one, why I went after Moses. This is exactly why. I knew I would be in this position, and the guy came to play, and he's a veteran and has the experience. The guy pitched his heart out yesterday, and you know what? we didn't get the win.
It definitely wasn't his fault.
It was not his fault. He pitched great, and this is why I got him. And I knew I would have to have a guy like him on the mound at some point.
No one questioned why you got him. You were just trying to sell to your viewers here that there was no pitching controversy and that Bobby
there wasn't. Bobby has been an absolute gentleman since the day we got Moses. He warms him up. He catches for him. They talk to each other. And you know what? It's not like an automatic that I was putting in Moses to pitch these games. I had to make that decision, and I thought that as we got deeper into the playoffs and everything, the best guy at the time for the job happens to be Moses. If Bobby was pitching lights out, not walking guys, and we were winning these games big, then I would put him in the game. But the case is that Moses won the 2 games, even though he gave up all those runs. He gets the pitcher of record, gets those wins, and yesterday he pitched a great game. And he's going to have to do it again if we want to move on.
Oh, we just got a tweet from Sammy Towell. Don't forget about the monster home run that I hit down the right field line, measured at 412 feet. So Sammy Towell with a big 3-run home run.
Best first baseman in the league right there. He'll tell you about it all day long.
Once again, a comment from the staff here due to the fact that Jemal was jiggling his way to second base yesterday, and he didn't like the comment.
But a big 3-run home run.
When we show the clip, make sure you show Jigga's slide into second base, by the way.
Looked like he was going to a pie eating contest at second base.
And then Solly and Tal and a monster 3-run homer too, and so that broke the game open at 1-10-0. I don't see Morabia rebounding at all in this series.
I don't see it either. I didn't like the Morabia unknown matchup. I thought those were the 2 weakest teams in the playoffs, and one of them had to win, and now I think they're going to get swept easily.
Can I ask a question here?
Yes.
At this stage of the season, I know it's late and everything, but was it always these playoffs a best out of 3?
This year, yeah.
But in the past, was it best out of 5?
Yeah.
Why did we change the format?
Because we added an extra week in the regular season to expand the regular season, so more players would get more games instead of adding an extra week in the playoffs. And it's also, it's almost August.
Yeah, but it's baseball season, so what?
So, but every league, there's no other. We were the only league that used to play semis and finals 3 out of 5. Well, breaking news. Sammy Towell told the statisticians he may retire.
He said he also told me
Really?
he may retire. He wants to retire when he's still at the top of his game and everything, and he may go out off this 3-run home run. We'll see. I don't buy it. I think he'll be back in the league next year.
I don't believe it.
And that's for the off-season report.
I don't buy that.
Moses had to ask the YMSL staff to put his name on the roster, on the website.
Well, he's actually listed on every team, so we just got to delete him off the other.
Yeah, I believe he's checking on his Commodore 64 right now of his past week's stats.
By the way, are you counting Sabon Sanity out of the NLCS already, or?
I pick AB Sacker also to win, but I don't know if they. I don't know. It's going to be a very tough game. I think the offense obviously has got to break through, but I don't know if I have the confidence that Moses could shut him down completely and hold it for a whole game. I would like to see a game 3 for the ratings, and so we'll see. But honestly, I'm looking at Sunday being game 1 and 2 of the World Series with the Utes versus the Marlins.
And then what is going to happen if one series needs a game 3 and the other doesn't?
We're going to have to do the probably game 1.
Game 1 after, same thing. And what is your prediction in the Sammy Towell game over there?
The prediction is that the Sammy Towell and Jeffrey Sacco organization take them, and I see a landslide victory, and I don't see Morabia coming back at all. Not after if they can't get a guy past second base and they lost 10-0, they obviously don't have the pitching or the fielding to to bounce back.
And what happened to this lineup that everyone was talking about that is so good on Mabadev? They're very good.
You want to know something? I'm not. You know what? I should take that back. We also got to take into consideration that they played a tough game right before.
Yeah.
They were tired. It was hot. Yeah, they won whatever the score was. You know, it wasn't a close game, but they were still out there for 2.5 hours in 100-degree heat. So that takes a toll on them.
But I don't know. I think sometimes that you come an emotional victory, you just win a series, you go right to the next game. I think sometimes that's an advantage to your team.
It is,
and
but
the other team had 2 weeks off.
Right,
It
is. But look, the numbers don't lie. Jeffrey Saka had the best team this year, and that's why he won 10-0.
But might add, Mikey Schaum did get a little lightheaded in the 5th inning of the second game.
There you go.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he did.
And he was probably tired. And
it was hot. It was hot by the second game.
It's not easy out there.
And for the ratings point, YMSL 2 was covering that game.
Yeah.
And the ratings were terrible because of the score. And this game was at 0-0, and that game was 10-0.
Yeah.
Big contrast. And your prediction in your series, please.
Well, I see us bouncing back Friday because we are a do-or-die situation right now, and I will not accept anything less than that. And then, we'll see what happens after that. But, I'm not going to sit here and say, I see us losing on Sunday. So I look forward to playing this game. We're going to come out very strong as well as they are, but I see us definitely taking this game.
By the way, yesterday was the first Sunday, we were into the semis already, that there was action on the field. The Friday game seemed to be a big hit across the league, huge attendance figures. We just got the reports, and the Nielsen ratings were also very high for Friday evening after dinner. People are watching the recaps of the game. So
I like Sabon winning on Friday. I think they're going to score some runs, 7-8 runs. I don't think the other team can get to that number. Tell you the truth, I don't like their offense that much. So if Sabon breaks through, maybe a big inning, 4 or 5 runs. But unfortunately, with the coaching deficiencies they have on that team,
you know what? Let me tell you something. I hope there's.
I gotta go with the huge.
You know what? I know I'm up for MVP and a few things, but honestly, I should win Manager of the Year this year because what I had to deal with this squad. It was just uncanny. And I think, you know what, for what it's worth, I'm proud of myself. I think I made some great moves picking up some of these pitchers. And, we got far, and we're still in it, and we'll see what happens.
Must be something with the first base position.
Everyone that plays first base, right.
Well, you had 4 first basemen in the All-Star game, so that speaks for itself.
Lee Zakaria questioning Sammy Towell's space on that All-Star team based on his numbers at that time.
Also,
he's batting around 300 at the time.
Lee making some kind of mention about Sammy striking out and arguing balls and strikes and convincing the ump to give him an extra strike, and then he lined out somewhere.
Oh, he's talking about the All-Star game?
Yeah.
Well, that was Jason somehow or another lost count of the thing. He gave him 4 strikes.
And then he almost threw a Brooklyn guy out for arguing that play.
Yeah, he struck out on 4 strikes. So, but anyway, we're counting down.
So that's it. Friday, 5 p.m.
Big game, 5 o'clock. 5 in the East and West. I believe your matchup's going to be in the East field, and the Marlins on the West.
And by the way, we're getting a update from the website that the network has video of Sammy Towell talking to the umps in the parking lot about Elliot Patesh standing in the batter's box. I don't know exactly what the issue is.
He's Elliot Patesh, according to Sammy Towell, steps out of the batter's box whenever he swings. Okay. He's running towards first. He's out of the box.
So what's wrong with that?
Now, Elliot Patesh's argument is he goes, I don't see any lines in the batter's box that I have to, that I'm
And since when was it against baseball rules for a 50-year-old guy to try to get a little head start? I'm serious. Let me tell you something.
Well, since they're both competing for the Hall of Fame inductee at first base.
Guess what? They should both get it. But that's another point. My other thing is, next year, I'm going after Elliot Patesh.
Meaning what?
I want him on my team.
And where are you going to play?
He's gonna be a batting coach.
No,
we'll find. We'll figure it out.
Meanwhile, he really, the truth is, he's an unbelievable hitter. He just, a couple of shots, just stroked it over the shortstop's head, over the first. He's really, the guy is pure hitter, and still has speed at 50 years old. So it's definitely, defense is another story, but
it's a shame we didn't have time to get into the insane series and what happened over there.
Well, the All-Star
I should say about
the
the All-Star
All-Star
game,
game,
we'll talk, but I will say, off the record, several members of the insane organization have really said that this is, they've had it with being part of an organization. They want to change, and they're kind of like 3 years is enough with the run, and they'd like to try a different.
Well, the only thing I could say about that is that you got to break up the captain, the captaining of that team. Where think about it: if Jack Jemal is a captain again, and he ends up with first or second pick, if he don't get Allie, he's taking Mo Shammah. What else is he supposed to do?
True, but how does he get first or second every time?
No, I'm just saying.
I know, but it's just coincidence, And then he takes Morris, and once he takes Morris, he's got Jaime, and of course Marty is there. Somehow they picked Leo in the fourth round.
Jaime wasn't on the team, but he pulled off his usual dropout if I'm not traded, and so.
Will there be any repercussions in next year's draft for characters like this who?
We have a few characters. By the way, will Freddie Irani be in the league next year? Being that he dropped out on his team or got kicked off his team, depending on who you ask.
I don't know who that is, honestly. I never heard that name before.
There was a big controversy from Abada. Now they got Carlos, but Freddie was there, and all that. The unknowns have a lot of beef on that.
Is David Hakeem persona non grata to the YMSL going forward?
And what happened to the crazy guy on the Dodgers that used to call in every week? That nut. Sabon. What happened to him? He's not in the league this year? Where is he?
He's working for MetLife. Anybody wants life insurance? Sabag actually took a year off, and he was very smart, by the way. He says he was originally drafted by the unknowns, and he plays first base, and he knows Richter from high school. And he says, that guy's great first base. I'm not going to get any playing time. So he took the year off. But he was
we got to get him back.
Oh, he was definitely a character and a half. Freddie Randy's got issues he's got to work on. And
what does that mean?
No, we can't really say much. But anyway, he's had, Mars Castle, I would like to say, had a very, very tough situation this year as being a captain for the first time. He had it started off with Gabe Abadi announcing that he was leaving for Mexico.
Right.
His first round pick without telling anybody. Then he had his replacement, great replacement, perfect, John Eliezer, having transportation problems on a weekly basis.
Yes.
And looking for rides coming. And then looking for rides going, he thinks that's part of the package deal. and then
the league wouldn't sponsor a red car shuttle back and forth.
Well, thank God there's Eli Batesh on his team who took care of that. And then he had the Freddie Irani, which started from week one, and it was just a disaster. So
Well, what was the issue? Can you explain to the viewers what happened here? Because we got to the field, and unknowns were going crazy that Carlos was allowed to play when Freddie Irani was at the field.
Well, Freddie Irani, on a couple of different occasions, he's going to tell you otherwise. One time he left the game to go play basketball. Another time he left for something his mother's birthday. I don't know. At the final week of the year, he just left because he didn't get an at-bat in a 10-1 game. They let him catch without hitting. Maybe he had a good point there. But so he left the team. He came up to me at a wedding and he told me this is BS. I don't know that. It was the last week of the regular season, and he told me he wasn't coming back. I said, you made the playoffs. You should come back. He tells me, no, I'm not going to come back. Well, to me, that sounds like he dropped out. If you ask me. So then all of a sudden the playoffs come and he shows up. So they thought he wasn't playing. I thought he wasn't playing, and then they got a replacement. Carlos was the replacement. because they were missing 3 guys and he was a 6th round, whatever.
So, to explain what the actual rule is.
Okay, well, the rule on the website is if you only have 9 guys that are available, you take the middle round of the 3 guys that are missing. So in this case, it was 2nd round was Leo Picciotto, 6th round was A.B. Dweck, and the 11th and 12th round was Freddie Rand. You get a 6th round pick. Now, to the 4th, luckily for the Mabadev, somehow Carlos Sabani was a 6th round pick this year.
Maurice Haber's pick. That's Maurice Haber's pick.
Probably better than the 2nd round pick that's partying in Costa Rica. But that's a story for another day. But that's the rules. He was exactly where it said, and he was the first pick in the 6th round.
Right.
So he had back-to-back.
He's on the wraparound.
He took Zvi Goldberg and Carl Sabani. Had it been reversed, he wouldn't have been able to get it. So whatever. So
but I'll tell you, Zvi happened to be at the field the other day, all day, so he could have probably filled in too if that was the case.
Yeah. I mean, it was just one of those situations, but.
So that's what it is. Freddie dropped out.
Yeah, he's not going to say he dropped out. He's going to say I'll never drop out. They forced me out, or they don't want me on the team. Why should I come? Whatever the case may be. So anyway, we had a meeting Saturday night via Skype with me, the committee members, and we decided that the situation was a special circumstance, and maybe they're not entitled to somebody of Carlos's pick, even though it was perfectly legal where he was picked. So we gave him a list to choose from, and Victor Dweck was the pick, and just what kind of year it's been for the unknown. The second half, he played brilliantly also.
Yeah, all the villains played great.
Shortstop batting 3rd, and he was amazing. So it was just one of those.
That's how it happens.
It was just unfortunate because they lost Murray Zolta and Ari Marcus, that they couldn't get a replacement because they had 10 guys. So it was just one of those deals. But Joe Chira and the Unknowns had a great year, and I'm sure a lot of those guys will be back and better than ever. But so we'll see what happens the rest of the way.
Okay.
Hopefully Leo and A.B. Dweck come back in one piece, and I'm sure we'll hear all the stories from Costa Rica. And Michael, good luck on Friday, and hopefully, next week when we reconvene, we'll be talking about the World Series.
I just want to make note to my right fielder, Joseph Jemal. My co-host over here, your brother, favors Jigga better than you, so
absolutely
keep that in mind for your next Friday night dinner discussion.
Well, we didn't even hear his name today. How did he do yesterday?
He played right field. Not one ball went there. Not even a ground ball past second base, because Douglas Dwight was so brilliant over there that he didn't have. They could have played with a left fielder and a center fielder, and nothing would have changed. Not one ball went there.
Not one.
And when he batted, he went 1 for 2.
Oh.
And he only got up twice because he was 10th, and they only scored 1 run.
RBI's Jigga having the postseason.
7.
Wow, 4 games.
7 in 4 games.
That's amazing. Amazing. A monster 3-run home run. I don't know how he got around the bases, but it was.
No, it was a triple. His home run was a triple.
Oh, he didn't make it.
Jigga never made it home on that play.
He got out at the plate?
No, he stopped at 3rd. Heat exhaustion.
Not by choice. Anyway, we look forward to seeing you, everybody, on the field on Friday. That's 5 o'clock at Fireman's Field, and at East Field is going to be.
We're trying to get a microphone on Coach Sabon for that game if he'll comply. We're trying to work out the.
It'll be dangerous. It'll be dangerous. And then Sunday will be either Game 1 and 2 of the World Series, or Game 3 of the semis, followed by Game 1 of the World Series. And so it should be, the season is winding down. And,
you sound like you automatically just counted out the Mabadev organization, and you're saying that Saka starts a World Series.
Right. I said it's either
9 a.m. sharp.
Listen, you never know, but I think Mabadev had their run. I hope I'm wrong, but we'll see. And that's it for tonight. I'd like to thank everybody out there for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next week.